again, this is Mrs. Hamilton, and I am here to discuss Hillsborough Community College steps to dual enrollment. If you have not had a chance to check out my general overview of dual enrollment, please check out that video before starting this one. Okay, so let's start. Step one, you need to meet the eligibility requirements. And so as I discussed in that prior video, students need to be enrolled in a Florida public, private, charter, or home education program. Our students are in a private school that's, we're NLTA, so you need to have an unweighted 3.0 high school GPA and also meet the testing requirement. And we'll go more we'll discuss that more on step number 4, but I'd like to highlight that students must maintain a 3.0 high school GPA and a 2.0 HCC GPA to remain eligible for dual enrollment. Let's move on to step 2. Before you are able to even start registering for classes, there's several steps that need to take place before you're able to do that. So let's go over this step. You need to complete the HCC dual enrollment application for admission. You can find this at www.hccfl.edu/admission/apply online. You'll need to create an account and then you'll be able to start your dual enrollment application. When creating this account, it's important that you use an email address that you and your child check regularly so that you are kept up to date with any information that will be sent by the school. You'll need to complete all the required fields and verify, and then you will be able to submit your application. When you complete this application, you'll receive an email with your child's HCC student ID number and their Hotmail email address. It is important that you and the student retain this information because you are going to need it for their time while they're attending HCC. Next, you'll need to register your net ID, and so this is creating a net ID and password so that your child will be able to access their Hotmail, WebAdvisor, and Canvas accounts. So it's really important that this is set up so that your student will be able to have access to these different accounts. The dual enrollment office will email you this information periodically and updates to this Hotmail account. So it's important that you set this up, that you set up the login credentials, and that you place it somewhere where you will know when to retrieve it. And so I have listed here the steps for that process. I'm not going to go into each of those steps. You can find that information here on under this step. And so we're going to move on to step number 4. You'll need to submit your test scores. The test scores that the school is looking for are from the ACT or SAT or the PERT test. If your child has not taken the ACT or SAT, they will need to take the PERT test, which is administered out on the HCC campus. You do not have to send a printout if they take the PERT test because the information will already be in their system. However, you will need to send in the SAT or ACT scores if that is what you are deciding to send to use for their college placement. And so I have listed on this slide here of what they're looking for, what you need to submit, what you do not need to submit. Let's move on to the next page is step number 4, which is a continuation of this process. I want to explain the PERT test because at this point, your student may have not taken the ACT or SAT, and so they are able to take this test that is administered on campus, or you can ask to have it taken online. You just need to contact the testing centers in order to request that, which you can find that information online. On this slide here, I have listed what the school is looking for as far as minimal scores that are required for eligibility in order for your student to take dual enrollment classes. You can find that information here, and listed is under PERT scores, SAT scores, and ACT scores. If you have any questions regarding that information, please do let me know. Again, we want our kids to do the best that they can. while taking these college placement tests, I do have a study guide that I am able to send you. All you need to let me know is that you need that information, and I can provide it to you. Let's move on to step number 5, which will be to submit your paperwork for approval and register for classes. So all students that are looking to be involved in dual enrollment will need to sign the dual enrollment student and parent agreement form, and that is found on the HCC website, or we can print you out one and give it to you. In order for you to start registering for classes, we need each student to meet with a high school counselor or official, which is Miss Ann, in order to obtain a letter of authorization. This letter basically says that we are approved for our student to attend dual enrollment classes. And also we will provide you with your transcript, a sealed envelope, and that you will need to submit to HCC. All of your paperwork will need to be submitted before you are able to start registering for class. And you can submit this paperwork to dual enrollment at hccfl.edu, or you can fax to 813-253-7061. You cannot take your paperwork to campus for approval. For HCC, these are the only 2 ways that you are able to submit your paperwork. Once the dual enrollment has reviewed and you have submitted your paperwork, you will receive an approval email to both your personal email and HOC accounts. So it's imperative that you check these accounts to see if your student has been approved. Once you're approved, your student can visit the HCC campus to choose sections of the courses that they're approved to take. Students should make sure that they are given the dual enrollment waiver during registration. This is very important. If your student does not receive this waiver, you will incur the cost of paying for these classes. So when you receive this waiver from the dual enrollment when you're advising office, make sure that you hold on to this waiver so that you are not paying for these classes, and then you need to submit it to the campus cashier's office. If you fail to submit this waiver, the student will have a balance that will subsequently be sent to collections. Step number 6, unfortunately this is a part of it, private students are responsible for purchasing required textbooks and materials. This is not covered by the dual enrollment program for HCC, so you are required to purchase their books and related materials to take these classes. Lastly, I have on this slide is the registration dates and deadlines. And so these dates are the deadline dates to start submitting your information. Make sure you have taken the PERT test. All of that needs to be done by July 29th, 2021 in order to begin classes in September. And so we need you to start working on this if you are interested in taking dual enrollment classes at HCC. So please, if you have any questions, do let me know, and I can try my best to answer. And also, you can visit the HCC website in order to get further information. Thank you again, and I hope you have a great day.